Okay, so I think Evie's having a nap and Julie is on a Zoom call. So that means I got another window for a video. So I'm going to do this one, A Tale of Two Atoms from, well, I don't have to do much introduction to National Geographics. Let's do this.
The writer H.G. Wells, who first imagined time machines and alien invasions, had a nightmare of a future
I
world where
love H.G.
atoms were
Wells.
weaponized. In his book called The World Set Free, written in 1913, he coined the phrase atomic bombs and loosed them on helpless civilian populations. He said his vision of a nuclear war between England and Germany in the impossibly distant future of the 1950s. In 1933, the Hungarian physicist Leo Szilard was contemplating becoming a biologist.
Dr. Zillard?
I wonder if he actually
Are
read
you quite
H.G.
all
Wells.
right in there?
The War of the
He read
Worlds. Awesome
Wells's
book to
novel,
read.
and it started him thinking.
World Set Free, I've never read that.
Szilard knew that atoms are made of protons and neutrons on the inside, and a skittering veil of electrons on the outside. Suddenly, while waiting for the light to change at this intersection in London, he was struck by the thought. If he could find a sufficiently large amount of an element that would emit two neutrons when it absorbed one, it would sustain a nuclear chain reaction.
Oh.
2 would produce 4, 4 would produce 8, and so forth, until enormous amounts of energy in the nucleus itself could be
Kind of like an
liberated.
exponential explosion.
Not a chemical reaction, but
Domino
a
effect
nuclear
almost.
one.
Nuclear. Not a chemical reaction, a nuclear reaction.
This was the moment our world changed. Leo Szilard also knew the power of exponentials, and if a neutron chain reaction could be triggered down there in the world of the atom's nucleus, then something like Wells's imaginary atomic bomb might be possible. He shuddered at the thought of this destructive capability. It was just the latest development on a continuum of violence that began long, long before.
Whoa, cool.
50,000 years ago, all humans were roving bands of hunter-gatherers.
That was cool.
They communicated over limited areas by calling to one another. That is, at the speed of sound, around 750 miles per hour. But over longer distances, they could communicate only as fast as they could run. Around 12,000 years ago, about the same time as the invention of agriculture, they developed the power to kill at a longer distance. Their kill radius expanded to the arc of an arrow launched by a bow. And they could kill one person with a single arrow. Our ancestors were not particularly warlike because there were so few people and so much room back then that moving on was preferable to armed conflict. Their weapons were used almost entirely for hunting. Their identification horizon was likely small.
Maybe.
Only with the other members of their band of 50 or 100 people. But their time horizon took a giant leap. They worked long and hard planting crops in the here and now, so several months later, they could harvest them. They postponed present gratification for later advantage. They began to plan for the future.
The agricultural revolution. Okay, so that was just a quick one. That I don't know why. Obviously, that's part of a longer documentary, where he's linking early, probably talking about early tool use and how that's related to early farming and agriculture. But anyways, that's just a quick one. I hope that that was kind of interesting. Interesting to think that H.G. Wells kind of give the spurred the idea around, um, while talking about something that was just a theoretical possibility, and then